Assalamu alaikum, peace. It's Fatima, Coach Fatima, 1/3 of Outstanding Personal Relationships and co-author of the book, Let's Talk Polygamy Uncensored. See that? Isn't that awesome? Okay, glad you all are here. Let me know where you guys are at, where you are at in the world. I am still on the continent. Our family's on the continent. It's going really, really well. It's just so big here. I love it so much. We're enjoying it. This heat ain't no joke, but that's what happens when you're on the continent. And I rather that than a lot of things and different challenges that we have faced before in the States. This just is what it is. But yes, welcome to this live. Make sure before we begin that you guys are liking and subscribing along the way and sharing the video, because sharing is caring. And if you want to pick up our book, Let's Talk Polygamy Uncensored, make sure you do that as well at letstalkpolygamy.com for details. So you'll see that going across the bottom of this screen right now. I did go live really quickly on our IG, and that's outstanding relationships. I always get that kind of choppy sometimes because outstanding personal relationships is too long. So outstanding relationships on IG. Okay, so let's get into today's topic at hand. This is one that is troublesome for many women. I know it was for me. I got married very young. I got married at 20 years old. Started my family right away with Coach Nadir. We've been married for 30 years. He's been in polygyny for 15 years. And I wanted to say this to some people that might be new here. Please do not compare our 15 years or his 15 years of polygyny to your day one, your year one, your year seven, maybe. It's just not fair to you. It's just not fair to you. It took work to get where we are as a family. It took work to get where we are as the OPR team and our YouTube channel and things of that nature. And we had to work together, and we always had that goal to have a healthy family, to understand that it's not going to fall in your lap. Okay, it didn't fall in ours. It's not going to fall in yours. May it be easier for you. And that's what we're here to do, bring families together, not rip them apart. I know oftentimes we can tend to get a bad rap when we open up the floor to talk about and discuss and train and coach about polygyny, which is the practice of a man or husband having more than one wife, and in Islam it's up to 4. So I want to make that distinction because oftentimes, especially on YouTube, people think we don't know what we're talking about. We absolutely do. We know the terminologies, we know how to spell it, and things of that nature as well. Make sure you guys are in the comments letting me know where you're at right now, how's your day going, and things of that nature. But in this specific live, I really want to get into discussing the feelings that we might be having or experiencing as wives in polygyny. Polygyny is happening to everyone. It's happening to the husband. It's happening to the subsequent wife. It's happening to the initial wife. It's happening to our children, in some cases, grandchildren. And it's important to set off on a good start, okay? Because once we go wrong, it's hard to they call it reverse engineering, or trying to fix things as they kind of dial down. That's difficult. It can be done, but it's not an impossibility. I think once we make mistakes, we think they can't be rectified. We don't think that hard conversations matter. We think sometimes that they need to be hostile. They absolutely don't. Okay, Marilyn in the house. Some blessings to you too. Welcome. What I'm going to be talking about, I'm going to get to that because I will talk about other things and not get to what I need to be getting to. But maintaining our feminine voice, even though we're upset. I want to discuss this because we think, there's an idea in our head that we must be loud and obnoxious, and maybe in some cases curse, throw things, square up with the husband, slander him. Some have done that. And if this is not applying to you, don't worry about it. Don't apply, let it fly. Honestly, we have to get out of our chests with much of the things that we tell ourselves, or much of the things we assume. Everybody doesn't do that. Some wives are welcoming to polygyny. They are. Shout out to them. I really admire the strength that it has to take to really put yourself out there and say that. I mean, as a woman, because what ends up happening is women get dubbed that want polygyny, that seek it out, as homewreckers. In many cases, the homewrecker is in the house already. And in a lot of cases, that is the initial wife. And I'm just saying that because there's a thing that happens. The subsequent wife gets dog walked for being in polygyny or wanting to be in polygyny. The initial wife gets it for being upset about it, or being the first wife who stayed with the husband who wants to practice polygyny. And there's a number of other different things as well. I mean, we could go on and on and on, and we have on our YouTube channel. So make sure you guys are commenting, liking, and subscribing. If you have not already, make sure you do that. I will be taking some questions towards the end of this live. If you have any comments or questions, I should say, put a question mark in front of them so I could readily see them. Okay, and we'll come to that when it's time to do that. But again, comment, like, subscribe. You want to hit the notification bell also, so that you're notified every time we upload a video. We have such an amazing library of information here on our YouTube channel, and it's really awesome to see. And we've gotten so subsequent wives, or initial wives, or all wives, and I like to say that my co-wife coach Nyla and I do, because that's very important to say. It's very important to understand, because once we start making it a war, it becomes one. But you have to be a willing participant in that. So let's get into the topic as people may file into this specific live. So I'm going to put my glasses on because I want to see. I have a few notes. If you see me looking down, I'm still here with you. Just know that. But I wanted to write some notes down so that I don't forget these important points that I want to reference here. Okay. So with that, one of the things that happens when we don't understand the power of femininity in our marriage, even though we're upset, one of the things we don't understand is what femininity looks like. We think femininity means, but sometimes women think that's being loud so that we're heard. Sometimes we think that that's standing on our husband's neck. Sometimes some women think that's an emotional castration has to happen to the husband for them to be heard and feel strong and powerful. None of that has to happen. None of that should happen, because how can you have a healthy marriage with your husband if you are stomping on his feelings, if you are not listening to him? I've been there where I'm like, I need to say all this stuff right now and everything and all the feelings. And no, don't have to do none of that, because it's draining for the listener. It's draining for the listener. It's draining for the listener, especially if the listener is an introvert. It's very difficult for them to get hemmed up in, hours-long conversations, and it takes a lot for them to people anyway. So when they get caught into, let's say, and we're going to get into the topic at hand, but I want to just say this: when they get blindsided by a conversation, that's very difficult, because they're unprepared. And sometimes when those conversations happen at the wrong time, it can feel like an ambush. And one thing I learned about the world of men is that when, let's give an example, right? They're coming in from work, and then you hit them with 20 questions about, well, did you do this? Did you walk the dog? Did you wash the car? Did you go to the bank? Did you do this? Did you pick up? Did you go to the store? you put gas in my car? Especially if they've dealt with people all day, it's very draining to get this barrage of questions, because men can it's not, this is not fact, but men may feel as though they are failing if they don't have the right answers to all of those questions. And we're just trying to check. We're just trying to see, right? So saying, there's no wrong answers. I don't know if you thought about this. I don't know if you've kind of figured that out yet. Maybe you can get back to me when you do. Those are good things, with a tone that is welcoming, with a tone that lets our husband know, okay, there's no pressure here. Okay, because we think because they're strong and they're big and they're masculine and they got 2 wives and they got a bunch of children that they love, right? That they're fathering and they're there and they're present for, that they can just take it all. They can't take it all. They're people. They can't take it all. They don't want to take it all. They can't tell us they don't want to take it all, because then what's going to happen? It's not a man. A man can take it. A man is a human being, and a man is among other men. And it's not easy to know everybody's problems. It's not easy to process everybody's issues. It's not easy. It's challenging. So the last thing a man wants is getting hit with 50 questions when he hits the door or right before bed. Timing matters. Timing matters. People need time to decompress, men included in that. So I just need to say that. Many times, especially as initial wives, we don't want to hear the truth of the matter. It's staring us in the face. We want to hear the truth because we don't want to be hurt. And we don't want to feel as though our family, our husband is not a safe place, a safe space for us. You know what happens? Sometimes we got to create this safe space for ourselves and invite our husbands into it instead of expecting them to create it. And we step into it. Because what if they don't know what that looks like for us? Maybe they used to know and they don't know anymore because we're not sharing it with them. We're not inviting them to have conversations with us. Men want us to invite them to conversations that are not hostile, there's going to be an outcome of positivity. There's going to be some compromise. There's going to be some brainstorming. They don't have all the answers. I love this thing that a lot of wives do, and I have to get on them about it. I love y'all, but I have to get on you. I don't love all of you, but I love some of you. I have to say that because some people come here real ugly. They're gonna get blocked, but they're not ready yet. And they try to take it out on us. It's not gonna happen. One thing that happens is that we think because we're women, we're allowed to be nice, nasty. When our husbands are passive aggressive, and sometimes we don't even know what that is. I probably grew up in one of the most passive aggressive houses on planet Earth. My grandparents were no joke. They were from the silent generation. They raised me. They were no joke. And the way they communicated was beyond toxic. I mean, it just didn't care who was in the room. So I picked up these bad habits, and it wasn't until my husband was like, "Oh, no, ma'am, because you're just rude. That sounds rude, disrespectful, all types of stuff." And I had to really learn and unlearn some things and call myself into account and go, "That sounded crazy," because I was so used to it. I mean, when I was a really young wife, I was so used to hearing this toxic way of speaking. So when I became Muslim, really, I started to kind of learn about this peaceful way of just being a person. Okay, because I'm living my life as a wife, not a husband. So we get the roles confused sometimes, and we want to raise our husbands. Their parents had their chance. You can't raise this grown man, and you can't control him. You may think you are controlling him, but there's so much that he's allowing you to do until he doesn't. And sometimes not allowing the wife to do some things is not having her for a wife anymore. Some men have made the ultimate decision to divorce their wives because you can't do nothing with her. She does not want to communicate in a healthy way. He's constantly getting diminished. He's tired of that. It's a respected decision. It's a respect. It's a respected decision. I think I lost my train of thought there, but this information is so powerful, because to be a strong woman sometimes means you need to be quiet. If you can't use your words, don't use your words. Be quiet. I had to learn to be quiet and change what I can and not what I cannot. I can't change the fact that my husband wanted more than one wife. That man sat in between me and Coach now and said he was open for the third. True. I'm not going to sit there and try to yank those words or stuff them back in his mouth. He said what he said, then he went to bed. He sure did. Shout out to him, because I saw the time where I was like, whoa, I would have been so upset. But I was much younger me, and now I know, I've known this for some time now. Our husbands are individuals. They are part of our lives, but they are not our lives. They're not. Vice versa. A man doesn't have but so much time on this planet, just like us and our children. And he's not going to spend his time sifting through a mountain of complaints. He'll hear concerns all day with the right tone, with the right energy. Who wants to talk to? We don't want to talk to anybody with an attitude. I sure don't. I walk away from you, honey. I don't have to. I don't have to deal with your attitude. Go take a nap. Sometimes you have to sit down and just be silent. Be silent. If we could look back and say, what would I change about the challenge I was in? My big thing would be to be quiet until I can process the words of anybody else that I've talked to, and it was a difficult conversation. Relax and process it, and go offer slack or pray. So the journey that I'm on is one of letting people be exactly who they're showing me they are. Whether that means they're open to polygyny a third time, whether that means a child that says, look, you want me to be a doctor. I don't want to be a doctor. That's not what I want for me. Okay. Understandably so. I get it. So it takes a lot of personal development and self-awareness to understand that. I didn't come here with my husband. I was a single birth. We have different mothers and fathers. We do. And so his life experience is not my own. His challenges day to day are not my own. I'm sure there's so much he has in that big heart of his that his wives and his children know nothing about, because he's carrying the weight of that, so they don't have to. Right? It's challenging work. May it be rewarding. May we be grateful and appreciative for that, because all men ain't built like that. Okay, so it's important to understand that when our husbands come home and they got that weight and they're not telling us about it because they're trying to spare us the heartbreak or spare us the concern or the upset, understand that that's happening whether we know it is or not, whether we accept it or not. So when women counter their husband and say, well, you get another wife, I want a divorce. Do you know what that feels like to divorce someone? Do you know what that's like? I sure don't. But I've had the privilege to sit amongst powerful women that have described that to me. That's no joke. It's not easy. I'll tell you a story. I had a friend of mine. She got divorced from her husband. Long story short, it was Ramadan. That's one of our holy months. As Muslims, where Muslims fast. from sunup to sundown for 30 days. And she called me, and I called and checked on her, and I heard this child screaming. This was a long time ago, you all. This child is grown and amazing, and he's awesome. He's so awesome. Yeah, I'm so proud of him. And he's 30 years old in September, because my oldest daughter and him are a week apart. So, and he's screaming. Trigger warning. He's screaming. And I said, oh my gosh, SubhanAllah. I said, what is going on? And she said, it's just so hard. And she started to cry. And that's the first time I ever heard her cry. And she's older than me. She's got me beat by 20 years. It was because she was divorcing, sitting in a divorce, and it was a custody battle, and she's holding her son. Because he's just, wow, he was so upset. Because his parents weren't together anymore. And I believe at that time, he was about 8 years old. Something like that. Very young. Right? And it broke my heart. It breaks my heart to even repeat it. So to go through that and experience that, and we throwing divorce out there, write it down. What it will feel like. Write it down. Write it down. What it may feel like to divorce the man that you're married to, and he's a good man. Because all men ain't good men, and all women aren't good women. But we're talking about the men that are good men today, and we're talking about the women that are good women today. Okay, so let's get into femininity and your voice, why it matters. Again, guys, if you do see me looking up and down, I do have some notes here. Make sure you guys are commenting, liking, subscribing, and sharing the video once we're through here. And also hit the notification bell, guys, because you're going to want to know when we're uploading or we have a new video out, okay? And it's watch everybody's video. Don't do the initial wives watch mine, and subsequent wives watch Coach Nyla's. We wives, and then don't miss out. Don't miss out, because you might have a different perspective, and you will, okay? And it'll open up the perspective will open up your perception. Okay, so make sure you guys comment, like, subscribe. But we're going to go into femininity and our voices. Okay, femininity is not a weakness; it's a strategic strength, you guys. So it doesn't mean we're passive or a pushover. It just means we're using our peaceful voice to voice our concerns, if we have any. We need to bring the tone in it. It's that disrespectful ask, okay, tone, that funk that's in the voice. That's the problem, because men value respect over love. Love is easy. Respect. Okay, look at men getting into it. Think about road rage. Sometimes they jump out the car. Sometimes somebody gets unalived because of that disrespect. They don't jump out the car when somebody's screaming "I love yous." They might go anyway. But disrespect has started wars, real wars in this world, where men are willing to fight to their demise, fight to the death, because of disrespect, right? They're not slapping each other in the faces with gloves and all that stuff no more. They're squaring up with one another. So then when it comes from a place in their home that's their heart, men's hearts are big. They got space for more than one wife in there. I didn't say more than one woman like that. I said more than one wife, because we're talking about polygyny. Now, more than one woman, you got daughters, yes. Granddaughters, yes. Nieces, yes. Sisters, yes. A lot of women can fit in here. Okay? But specifically for wives, they have space. They have so much room in their heart. But one thing they don't want from their wife, or wives, or the women that they love, their daughters, and all the ones I mentioned is disrespect. Okay. And sometimes when we disrespect, or if we have been disrespectful, it is a reflection of how we feel about our own self-respect. And femininity allows us to respond and not react. And I love this. I thought about it during a live event. I hope it clears up, guys. I don't know what's causing that. Can you guys hear a little bit better now? Give me a thumbs up. Make them smile. Yeah, we all need a reminder. We all need a reminder. I hear you. I need them. I need them. I need them too. One of the things that, we don't have to, it just would be healthy to do so, is understanding something that I used to say. I used to say this on this live that we had all the time, and I've repeated it multiple times. It's important. They call first responders for a reason. They don't call them first reactors, because they have to be socially aware, self-aware, environmentally aware of what's going on around them, and they have to process what is going on around them, evaluate, self-check. They have to do so many things to help. I love a firefighter. I love a firehouse. I love the role that they have. Shout out to them, because they're in the business of saving lives, and they're risking theirs by doing so. They can't be reactive. They can't be having these knee-jerk reactions. They can't run into a blazing fire with no tank for oxygen. They can't go in there without the flame-resistant clothing that they wear, even though it's 100 and some pounds on their back. They're willing to carry it so that they're safe. What are we willing to carry? What are we willing to carry? Or what are we willing to set down? Maybe we should set down our ego. Maybe we should watch our tone. Maybe we should learn how to play the game that's not a joke. The game that's not a game. So that we can communicate properly. We can still have our big feelings, but it's not our job to vomit those all over our husbands. Yes, we have raw reactions. Yes, we've made mistakes. Yes, we've yelled. Yes, we've protested. And then a few how dare yous put in there if you're nasty. Femininity is so important, but in a society that is driven by women having these loud reactions and acting like men, what they think men act like, squaring up with men. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And then have an expectation now that this person is going to want to talk to you. Not going to want to talk to you. They're not, even if you apologize, because then they have to figure out, is that apology sincere? So understanding that our femininity is so powerful, and our silence is golden, is beautiful. It's honorable work to be feminine. And the society has taken that and completely tried to erase it, to the point where women are around here grabbing at crotches. What are you grabbing at? What are you doing? Why do you feel the need to do that? Somebody has to be the man, and it's not you. Understand me. Understand me. Okay? Now, let's move into something else. We're going to move into something else about femininity. Okay, I'm going to look down. One thing that's very important, femininity sets the tone for our marriages, okay? And it can shift the emotional climate in our house. You can be upset with your husband, I'm not saying you can't. It's the expression of the upset. Being quiet, I'm going to keep saying that, is vital. Not using it as a punishment, though. If you need to live in kindness with your husband and be quiet because you brought up so many things and they're not revisited, and instead of going, oh, why won't you listen to me? And I keep trying to have a conversation with you and you never revisit. Don't do that. Be quiet. Write an email. And be respectful in doing so. Because if you're disrespectful, then he's going to wonder when the other shoe's going to drop and when you're going to be disrespectful again. That's what he's going to do. Staying grounded in femininity and just reminding yourself that respect and having a connection creates emotional safety where it should. And consistency. So, for example, some women go rah, 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 yapping, and then apologize. 3 days later, rah, rah, rah. Apologizing, and the man is going, she gonna rah, rah again, and then she gonna apologize again, and I'm sick of her mess. I'm done. If he doesn't say it to you, he's thinking. My grandpa used to say that all the time. Quadruple OG he was. He said, when a man ain't talking, he's thinking like hell. I was like, what is he talking about? I know what he's talking about now. I know exactly what he's talking about now. He was so serious. He was so serious. And it was so wise to say his packaging used to be all jacked up. His delivery was a mess. But again, he was from the silent generation. There wasn't much filter at all. So unless they were with their parents, there was some filter there. But I love that. Because how many times do we ask, how was our husband's day and what's going on? And then if he says today was long or I'm tired, that's a cue and a clue. Don't throw 50 questions at him about whatever it is you're concerned about. Ask when to schedule out the conversation. Because again, they feel blindsided when we come with this heavy discussion and it's before bed. Even if we think it's going to be a one-liner and an easy response, I've made the mistake myself and I'm like, nope, never again. I know how to entertain myself. I've been very good at that for a long time, entertaining myself, and I know how to go somewhere and sit down and do something for me if I can't have a conversation. I had to learn that. And I'm like, well, why won't anybody talk to me? And why? And I want to know and what's going on. And sometimes you don't want to know what's going on. Sometimes it's good to go somewhere and sit down. So when we're in a place of softness, and if you want to write this down, feel free, guys. It creates such a powerful impact in our marriage when we're in this soft space. Sometimes we got to dress up to get in that soft space. I love, y'all know, people that have been here a long time know I love dressing up. I'm in my house right now. But I love looking nice every day. If I'm mopping the floor, I'm not wearing a ballroom gown. And if I want to, I will. I might get some looks up in here, but hey, if it takes that, then so be it, but I'm not the type. So sometimes you have to surround yourself with softness, to have that come up out of you. For me, it's art. For me, it's interior design. For me, it's coaching women. I love doing that. You can learn more, guys, at coachfatimah.com for details. I want to make sure I tell you that because that's important. I go deeper into what it takes to really live fulfilled, like true fulfillment, not some caricature of it, not something that's sketchy and not sustainable. I'm talking about staying power for long term, because it's not about surviving polygyny. I really can't stand that term. It's about thriving in it. You know, because when people think about surviving, they go, I survived a car crash. I survived this roller coaster ride. I survived, uh, what else do they say, you guys? Illness, this horror. It's always attached to something that's really, really challenging and really terrible and painful. And some would say that's what polygyny is for me. But let's think about that. Is polygyny to the magnitude of having cancer and being terminally ill? Let's think about the extremes we go to now. Let's think about the extremes we go to. So, another thing that is feminine power is emotional maturity, being emotionally mature. Now, the conversation surrounding polygyny, or the practice of a man having more than one wife, is heavy. I know that. We know that. It's not easy to have. But once we have the conversation, or even invite our husbands to have it with us, we get some clarity. We can get clarity on when, why, and he could say, because I want to. Because I want to have more than one wife. And Coach Nadir said that he wanted to become more. I'm not going to argue that with him. I'm not going to argue that with him at all. That's what he said. And that's how he feels about his life. So I'm not here to go, well, you know what? Look, that's what he said. That's how he feels about it. He wanted to become more. He wanted more in his life, whatever that means for him. And he's talked about that very candidly on this channel, on our YouTube channel, on live events, you know, in his coaching program. He's done that. So I'm like, okay, that's a window into maybe the minds of other men, maybe to the desires of other men. Maybe they need to hear that. Yes, we're all working on our softness. Yes. Yeah, I love that. Someone said, Sonia Rose said, I'm working on my softness. Yeah. And it's life's work. It's life. It's the work of your life, to work on your softness, to personally develop into the best person and version you can be. I call it the champion within. The champion within. I want to meet her. I want to meet her, and I'm working to build her, and it's fun building her up. Even on the days that are hard, let's ask better questions. Instead of, for example, saying polygyny can't work. How can it? How can we make it work? If this is what you want to do, he's a good man, you don't want to leave, you don't want a divorce, it's difficult to share him with another wife. You're sharing him with the world already. You think me and Coach Nyla have Coach Nadir all to ourselves? Absolutely not. He's got businesses to run. He has children to raise. His grandbabies, he has all that stuff. First and foremost, he has a lot to worship. So we don't get to tell him, and we don't want to tell him how he gets to do that and when. He's grown. He's a grown man. He does not answer to us. We want him. We have our. Hear me? There I am. For a second, I'm like, hold up. Wait. That doesn't mean it's not concerned. That doesn't mean it's not afraid. That doesn't mean it's not assertive or empowered. It's just volume. It's a respect issue. It's a content issue. No man is going to sit there and let you call his other wife, if she's subsequent or not, a sack of names, and then he's going to be pleased with you. You can feel whatever way you want to about her, but you are talking to a man about his other wife. And if she's talking about you, he's going to have to hold up. That's a boundary. Don't cross it. Don't be disrespectful. I don't want to hear that. Nobody wants to hear that. So then when you open the conversation with that, you can have just a soft voice. You can scream, I can't stand you. I can't stand what you did, meaning polygyny. Or you can say, I really can't stand what you did marrying her because I can't stand her either. Soft and respectful wins the race. Challenge yourself with it. If you are having an issue with being soft, look in the mirror, try it. Practice your soft voice, practice your femininity. Okay? Do that. Sit with yourself and tell the truth, and then share it with others. If you're able to have the conversation, because see, sometimes other people are ready to have the conversation with us, and we're not mature enough to facilitate it or bounce the ball back and forth. The forgiveness is on a yo-yo. It's on a yo-yo. I forgive you today, but I hate you tomorrow. That's not being feminine. Being feminine and being an adult is understanding that I'm upset right now, and I'm so upset I'm going to lay down, and I really would like to talk to you, but I'm not in the space mentally to do it right now. You might be, but I really have to. I'm not in a good mood. Tell your husband that. He'll understand that. But if you tell him I'm not in a good mood because you took another wife, I don't know where you took her, but you took another wife and I can't stand that, and I don't like that. I don't want your kids around my kids and all of this mess. Understand that he will remember every single word you said. And you can be just as nice as you want to. Be respectful. Let's talk about this one, and then I'm going to take some questions. How do men respond to femininity? How do they respond? They love to hear it. They love to listen to a feminine woman that is leading with logic and being rational. He's not saying erase your feelings or what happened or whatever trauma you may experience. Our husbands are dealing with trauma too. They are. They're trying to heal too. And we want them to answer to somebody so badly. No. They know what happened. They were there. And he can't do anything about something you're not willing to share. He can't fix you, or else he would have fixed it just for peace sake. But don't expect your husband to look at a bike that he's never ridden, never worked, never learned, and say, ride it with perfection. He doesn't know. He doesn't know how to do that. He has to learn. He has to balance. He has to get familiar. He has to fall off and get back on. But we don't want to give time for the learning curve. We want perfection right now. You didn't have perfection in monogamy, but demanded in polygyny. How fair is that? And nobody told you that this life was perfect and it was going to be fair, and your husband's going to fix everything for you, and he's going to know all the answers, when and how to's, and plan all the events for the family, and bring everybody together and create connection and never fall and hit his head or hit the ceiling. Nobody ever said that. And I challenge you, if they did, find them, bring them on here, invite them. Let's get to the live. Let's stop with the performance polygyny and femininity. Be sincere with it, because men may feel as though, to us, like they don't know what's going on. They know when you're performing because they know your personality. So if you're doing this jazz hands stuff, they want you to be real. They want you to be real. Be real. Don't undermine or diminish their intelligence. They won't like that at all. They won't like that at all. What I'm going to do now, guys, before I close, is that I'm going to put some comments on the screen so that I can share them so you guys can see them. My daughter was chiming in. But I'm going to put some on the screen so you can see. I'm starting back up at the top. Okay. Is it Slivalia McKinley? Sorry. Peace to you. As well. Oh, Texas, humble Texas. OPR is helping me on my new journey into polygyny. I also bought your book and I rely on it daily. Yay! Congratulations to you. Thank you so much for the support. We appreciate it. I think I speak for the OPR team and family. We do appreciate you all showing up and supporting your many du'as for our family. And we just are so glad that our book is helping you all. And I'm glad you brought the book up. Let's Talk Polygamy Uncensored. You're getting 3 perspectives, guys. Now, I'm going to thank you so much for that comment. We sure do appreciate it. I'm going to put on the bottom of the screen for you all where you can pick up your book or grab your book right here. I want to put that, you see, at the very bottom at letstalkpolygamy.com, and you can pick up your book. Okay. And all 3 coaches help. We all were co-authors in it. It's really beautiful to see that book be finished. I spoke about that earlier within this live. It was really awesome. I love it so much. I'm so proud of everyone. I'm going to make sure I put some more comments up here, but we're going to review a little bit before I end this specific live. And that, like I was saying, we all need a reminder, right? We all need a reminder. So I'm here to remind and to make sure, I share this information with you all, because again, it's something that I had to learn as well. And it took me some time because I had to undo so much and unlearn so much. Take a drink real quick. All right, guys. Okay, Sonia Rose. My issue is that when I get triggered, my inner child takes control and strongly and loudly pushes back. I don't really think it was disrespect, but even with a diagnosis, he still does. Because you know why he still does? I'll tell you why he still does. Because he's seen a better woman in you at a different time. That's why. So if you've been very respectful before, he wants to see that woman again. He knows you still have those things, but he's seen you manage them better in other moments, in other conversations. So when that inner child jumps out, he knows that's that inner child defending you, jumping out. But he's also likely seen this mature woman, even in difficult times. The thing about our husbands, that they know we're dealing with something that's not easy. They're just saying, don't sit and live in that. Don't sit and live in that, because you don't feel good when you do. A lot of times our husbands want us to hurry up and talk and share and get to the point because they want to help us work on something or provide a resource for us to work on it. And many men have used the OPR channel to do so. Shout out to them, because there's nothing like a husband giving his wife a video of either mine or Coach Nyla's to help them get through these incredible emotions that they're feeling. They're like, listen, this is what I have. This is what I have. A lot of the women that I've coached, they said, you know what he did? He gave me your video. And I said, he must really love you. He must really love you so much if he gave you Coach Nadir's video, my video, Coach Nyla's video. All 3 of us, the trio, which is a lot. The optics of looking at the 3 of us is not easy all the time, because it's like, oh my God, this is real. This man has got 2 wives. I'm out of here. We get it. Sometimes it's just a photo from Eid and people are like, oh, I can't stand them. Hey, if you're a hater, market us, because you're going to talk about us if you hate us. And you're going to talk about us if you love us. So keep on keeping on. But yeah, he's seen a better woman come out and he misses her. He misses that better woman. Just like when we see our husbands maybe not be the best man that we've seen them be, we're like, where's that guy? Miss him. I really miss him. And they're like, dang, I didn't even know I was doing anything. You know, I totally built my husband up to superhero status. So I know what it is. I know what it is. And he's like, super, what? He's the Black Panther and the King of Wakanda in my house. So I get it. Yeah, soft / respectful. Absolutely. Okay. Let's read this one. Son, you up in these comments. Let's go. Alhamdulillah. I agree with each spouse has their own life. The fact that the husband decides and you simply have to deal with it and do the work while your life is greatly altered by someone else's choice. One thing that I noticed that we do is it's difficult to sit in someone else's decision. We find it very difficult to sit in someone else's decision. And for Muslim women specifically, I don't know if you're Muslim or not, but there is a strong sense of I am sitting in his decision. It's not easy for me, and other women experience this too. But there is something that is always the life that we have is written. It's written, whatever's going to be in it. So, okay, for example, I'm like, oh, we have 7 kids. We have a lot of kids. This is great. Well, Coach Nadir has 10 and 2 bonus children. Not children, adults now. But at the time, they were children. That was what his life was going to be. If I had 17, he was going to have 27. So when you look at it, and people have made a competition and go, oh, she's got this many, you got that many, Coach Fatimah. I said he has more than us both. Next. You don't get to tell me how to feel and how to be and how to think about my husband and myself, even though he did make the decision to practice polygyny. It is about how I'm going to take care of myself within that decision. How am I going to do that? What does that look like for me? How beautiful can I make my life now? How much more can I pour into me now? I didn't think I'd be a coach about polygyny in that arena. Nope. I was an artist, interior designer, and I still am. I love fashion. I love fabrics. I love clothes. I love taking care of myself and shoot my family and my friends. I love that. I wasn't always here, though. I had to discover her and dig deep. And polygyny helped me do that because I could focus on me, because I wasn't so focused on my husband, because he was not here all the time every single day. He's present and in and out, and he does his thing. He makes sure he's seen. He makes sure he's hands-on with his children. He's in our homes. We see him. We don't have to look. We don't have to ask. I don't wonder where he is because I'm too busy wondering where I'm going to go. Like for the day. Like if he's not here that day, yeah, What do I get to do for myself today? What do I get to do for myself every day? What does that look like for me? That's honorable work. It doesn't mean I didn't wake up one day and stuff was great. It's not perfect, but I get to decide how I feel. That doesn't mean there's not still challenges in there. That just means I get to curate how I respond to how I feel. I'm not just Coach Nadir's wife. That is not my only attribute. That is a piece of a part of my life. I'm someone's mother. I am someone's grandmother. 4 special someones. I'm a sibling. I am a daughter. I'm someone. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a coach. I'm an author. I'm an artist. I'm an interior designer. I'm a thought leader. And most importantly, what grounds me is Islam. I'm a Muslima. I won't act like I'm not. I have so much work to do within all of those different hats. My marriage is very important to me. I love my husband very deeply, but he is not my Lord. I do not worship him. What I do for him are acts of worship and shown and for Allah. For Allah's pleasure. And if my husband benefits from that, alhamdulillah, I'm grateful for that. However, My focus cannot just be on this one man that is my husband. That doesn't mean throw him to the side and he don't matter. He absolutely matters. He more than matters. But I'm not to worship him by focusing on every single thing that he does. All that drive myself crazy trying to keep up. I don't want to keep up with him like that. I want to make sure he's okay. He's doing what he's got to do. He's healthy. He's happy. Don't touch his stuff when he's not here. I dare you. I'm protecting his items. You're not coming up in here if he doesn't know you're coming. I don't care if you're a plumber. I don't care if you're a beekeeper. I don't care who the man is, the grocery delivery guy. You're not coming up in here because he said, nobody coming up, and he doesn't know it. I protect him in that way. But other than that, I had to understand, and again, it took time. This takes time, but it also takes effort. That my job was to work on me, okay, and see what I could do within him practicing polygyny, because me being ultra upset and angry and vicious and venomous is not going to change the fact that that's what he wanted to do and he did it. I didn't say he did it perfect, because who's doing that? Who's doing that? We're dealing with human beings. They're still figuring things out. He's still growing. But I don't get to tell him what that looks like for him. I'm not his mother. I'm his wife. I'm his wife. Okay. I love this. I love these paragraphs. I love these comments. Y'all get this is so good. Alhamdulillah. I'm so happy that you all are sharing. Okay. I'm gonna scale through here and make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay, guys. Let's add this one. I have a hard time being soft because I feel it's taken advantage of because of the past experiences. I feel like I have to be hard to protect my feelings. I don't know how to be soft in general. You're not going to be soft overnight. Part of being soft is making a commitment to be soft. Making a commitment, because we can make a decision to be soft, yes, but have we committed to being soft? I had to learn how to be soft too. I'm the oldest daughter. So, and when my brother was not in the state where we come from, he lived on the other side of the country with his mother. Okay, and I had to step into the shoes of the oldest child. And in some cases, in his presence, I had to be the oldest because he couldn't do it. He couldn't deal with it. And helping with my grandmother's burial and our dad passing away, I had to take the reins. He was like, I can't do it. I know you can, bro. I'll do it. I always ever do. So when you do that, you do end up stepping into masculinity because we're doing things that men do. So see, we find it difficult to do things that men do because we're not men. We're not men. So when people say you can't have two husbands, I don't want no two husbands. We don't do that. Do you know what that looks like? You know what that feels like? All that responsibility? That's for another live, y'all. We can go there too. But making a commitment to be feminine is important. And what it looks like to do that on a daily. What is it? And it's not even just about being feminine with our husbands, you all. It's about being feminine, period. That doesn't mean we're not brave. That doesn't mean, but it's about when we tap into it. So I'll give you an example. I'm a different woman when I'm out with my daughter. People call her little Fatimah. Right? When I'm out with her. Then when I'm out with my son, he's 18 and about 6 feet, 6'1". Then when I'm out with my husband, I'm a different woman. When I'm with my daughter, who's 5'3", and my youngest daughter, and my youngest biological daughter, but I have a youngest bonus daughter. I love her to death. I love my daughters. Maybe let me tell you something. I'm leading when we're walking. She's very close to me. Don't get swung on bothering my daughter. She wears niqab and a bucket hat. She's so cute because it's hot over here, y'all. I have to have a posture about myself as her mother and her protection when we go out. That doesn't mean I'm going to square up with a 250-pound man. You know, not doing that. But I know who to get and I know where to go. Uh, if you go lower, if you get my drift. So I have to be a different woman. Then when I'm with my son leads me. When it's just my son and myself, he leads me. Then when I'm with Coach Nadir, I barely have to think about anything because he's thinking about it for the both of us. And you guys seen him. You got to wake up early to not understand that he has absolute presence. Don't play yourself, right? So it's important to commit to femininity. All right. Okay, Sonia. I feel fake when I practice femininity. It seems untrue of who I really am, of who I really am, quite assertive, and this is often viewed as masculine. Any tips? Femininity is assertive, but it's just not like masculinity. When they assert themselves in masculinity, it is not the same as femininity. Don't take it away from yourself. Don't take it away from yourself. Being assertive is a feminine attribute when it is packaged in femininity. I'm not telling you to bat your eyelashes and flirt with the guys and be and dumb yourself down. Change the definition of femininity. It doesn't mean you're not strong. It doesn't mean you can't go there if you have to. It just means you have not tapped into violence if you do not have to be violent. Men are violent in a different way. They have to have that violence inside of them. They have to have an aspect of danger inside of them because if they don't, they can't protect. And that could mean their demise if they don't have that. And some people sit up and go, men are so violent. No, when they need to tap into it, then they do. But just know it's there, even if it's dormant. It's there. They have to have that. And there's nothing wrong with it. We got to not let society tell us what it is. Okay? I've been in situations where Coach Nadir was getting ready to swing on people. And I'm like, let me go over here and move real quick. Let me move. Because when you get dropped, I won't call 911, child, because you shouldn't have started with him. See? Because he won't start it, but I'm not a punk either. I'm not. He didn't start anything, but I distinctly remember something getting started with him. And that guy had to come back and apologize because he was out of pocket. Yeah, because you don't know if I'm going to and answer the call. You about to get your bells wrong. That's what's about to happen because, see, I met him when he was 14 and I've seen some stuff. And I understand why he would respond in certain ways in the way in which he did, because I had to understand that that's how a man would respond. That's not how I would respond. I'm sitting there on the sidelines going, well, dang. But then when I would tell my dad, who was sometimey with the raising of me, he said, yeah, we have to go there sometime. Yeah, I get that. I was like, okay, well then if he gets it, then I need to go somewhere and get it too. So yeah, sometimes we feel fake when it's something new that we're trying and we've not settled into it yet. So that's not something that's abnormal. It's just we haven't adjusted to it yet. And especially living in America, we can kind of sometimes bulk up and have this masculine posture because we feel like we got to protect ourselves because we don't know who anybody is anymore. I mean, they're cosplaying so much over there. It's crazy work. So yeah, it's just making an adjustment. I had to make adjustments and take bold baby steps where I'm on my feet and I'm going, okay, center and say, boom, I'm committing to this. And you might love it by the end of the day. But being assertive is feminine. Being powerful is feminine. Being empowered is feminine. But the packaging because somebody has to be the man and it's not us. I'm not, I have a supportive role here, and I have the privilege of giving feedback and ideas within this family. The wives both have that. But I'm not the leader, the imam, the bey. I'm not the chief of the tribe. That's been established. And I love that for him. Because I got married to a husband, I don't want a wife. No, ma'am. Okay. um, Alhamdulillah. Sometimes we're two different women, and we can't have the same comment. Like I don't communicate with my children like I communicate with my husband. It's different. I'm their parent, so there's a hierarchy there. Because I'm your mother, I don't talk to you like we friends. Because I'm your mother, because you can talk to your friends like you want to, not me. Awesome, you're Muslim. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. Okay, I'm gonna add this. Do you feel do your feelings change for your husband knowing that he is caring for another? It's something that is his rite of passage as a man in polygyny. That's his responsibility. My feelings don't change. If anything, they intensified because I saw him doing something on a deeper level. I saw him doing something that is pleasing to Allah on a deep level. That is his test. My test in polygyny is much different than Coach Nadir's test. Much different. So to watch him do his best, and he's made mistakes, acknowledged them, he's trained on them, he's coached on them very deeply. He sat next to Coach Nyla and I, like really went in deep, and we're learning new things about him as we're sitting there. And I said, this is his test. She has her test in it. I have mine in it. And they don't look anything alike. They just don't, because we're different people. So Allah gave them to us in different ways. He got our attention in different ways. Okay. So the work that Coach Nadir does in polygyny is not just work for our marriage. It's work for his legacy, the family, his children, his wives, his grandchildren. It's very honorable, fulfilling, rewarding work. But that doesn't mean there's not met with challenge. That doesn't mean he hasn't had rough days with us, right? Because for as much as we have felt challenged by him, he has absolutely felt challenged by us. It's not a competition. It's something that he's been called to do in his life that has absolutely impacted mine, his children, Coach Nyla's. It has impacted us all in different ways. But there's a lot of love here and togetherness and connecting and getting through this as a family and having the same values. But the way we execute things might be different because he's a man in polygyny and we are women in polygyny. We will never show up as him. He will never show up as us. And we got to, as women, quit trying to show up as our husbands. It doesn't work. Somebody has to be the husband. Somebody has to be the wives or wives. We don't share a brain. We share values. We share principles. We share the foundations of Islam. We don't have any fuzzy messages here. Okay. It's about having a family that can experience polygyny in the healthiest way they can, and we know better. Now, when we didn't know any better, we didn't know any better. But if you know better, you are supposed to do better, or at least commit to it. At least commit to doing better. Because if we don't want something to work, we'll sit back and do everything that supports it not working. If we want it to work, then we're going to find with determination and courage in our hearts the best way to do it, even if we're crying all the way through it. Okay? I know I'm loved here. I know I'm loved here. I know that. At first I'm like, huh? What did he just say? Shoot, not the mic drop on me, but that's how I perceived it. That's not the reality. Just because you feel a way, it doesn't mean it's the reality of the situation. For example, we say husbands get married again, they don't love us. The man's sitting there telling you, yes, I do. You know, you love me, you can't love us. Well, he absolutely can and will and did. Because if he has children, so Coach Nadir has 4 daughters and 5, because and I said what I said. Our bonus daughter is our bonus daughter. She's a daughter in the family. Okay. I just want to be clear on that. She's not the side daughter, extra daughter, no. He's raised 5 women. These are grown women now. And he loves them all at the same time. He loves his sisters at the same time. Any aunts, same time. Grandmas, same time. All those women, all of them. Different ways, different relationships. Some of them he can't because they just toxic. He can't deal with it. He's like, I don't have to. Because if you present yourself and you come to us and you treat us a certain kind of way, he ain't gonna like you too much. You can be his auntie, his mama, whoever. You can. And you won't have as much access to him as you think you should have, but he has to protect his family. He does. So men can do that. They can absolutely love more than one woman. They can. And when we sit up and tell them they can't, we don't do anything but earn their frustration by telling them what they can't do, like we their mother. I'm just telling you, I want to share that. I'm not saying that that's what you're doing, sis. I'm just saying that's what happens. And you're so welcome. You're so welcome. Thank you all for the kind words. You guys have shown up and showed out with some good questions. If you have any more questions, I'm going to wrap it up. Remember that femininity doesn't have to be loud and rude to be strong, okay? To be empowered, to be assertive. Change the narrative in your mind as to what feminism and that movement has tried to indoctrinate in women. They saying, look, men is trash and we don't like them and they got to be absolutely what we want for us to support them and we don't need them. Oh, I need mine, please. And if you don't need them, that's your decision to make. It would be a group of women that are in bad mood and bitter telling you what you don't need. I mean, it's got to be, there has to be a meter in which you measure the man in your life without this venom or this hatred. In some cases, some women hate their husband. They just, that's what it is. They do. And you could put in the comments positive polygyny. We'll put that in there because we could put something about femininity in there, but other people are going to watch this and they're not all women. We want to be healthy. We want to be healthy, not women that become older and then our children remember us for our bitterness and we couldn't, look inward. We're so busy accusing and pointing fingers, we're not looking inward and saying, well, what do I need to work on? There's some things I need to work on. Okay. It's balancing between head in the sand and not being too questioning. It really takes wisdom and level head. Neither spouse wants to learn that their mate is keeping major secrets. Yeah, that's true. There's a difference between having a secret and something being private. I had to learn that. There's a difference. A lot of marriages happen in a private fashion. And we should be really mindful of the terms we're using in polygyny. Because when we say it's a secret, it can have a negative connotation versus it being private. Now, my marriage to Coach Nadir was private. Everybody wasn't there. I had one of my parents there. My mother was there. My mother was there. My father wasn't there. He wasn't feeling it. You don't have to feel it. I am. You don't have. My father was not Muslim. He passed away. My mother's not Muslim. And I was grown. So I didn't walk around taking a census of who wanted me to marry Coach Nadia. I really did not care. I didn't, because I wanted, and so did he, to have a healthy ceremony, and everybody wasn't invited because everybody's energy is not good. And it was intimate, it was beautiful, it was nice. Okay. And I wouldn't change that. If I could go back, no, I wish my dad was there. No, I don't. If you got an attitude, stay home. Stay home. Because you don't get to put that in here on our day and ruin it. Because you didn't marry my mom. So I don't want to hear nobody's anything at all. I don't. I mean, Wayaki. I'm so happy that you all are here, and you answered asked such amazing questions, and this is such a mature group here, and we've had so many, and we thank you. I believe I speak on behalf of the OPR team and family. Thank you for your well wishes and showing up with such great statements, comments. And you guys have absolutely been part of this very mature conversation. Remember what femininity should be. Don't look at what society says it is, because then you put yourself at a deficit. Feminism, that whole group will say, get rid of your man. He's a good dude, but he ain't a good enough man, Savannah. That's what they try to say, because they want it perfect, and that's not going to happen. And he's not getting perfection. This is not, he has to be perfect, and I can be me though. I can live my truth. I'm good enough. Good enough oftentimes means you don't have to do any work. You have to do work. Okay? Growth is important. It's so amazing to grow and see who you can become. And if you want to become a member of our community online, check us out at polygamycommunity.com. Okay. And that's where we get rid of a lot of the trolls and the negative comments. And you don't have to deal with arguing with people. Make sure you all comment, like, subscribe, share this video, because sharing is caring. And you want to make sure that you hit the notification bell, be notified every time we upload. Guys, watch all the videos that you can. Do not discriminate. Some people want to watch just mine if their initial wife, and then just watch Coach Nyla's if there's subsequent beneficial knowledge across the board. And ladies, watch Coach Nadir's videos too. They're very informative. They're enlightening. I've grown much by watching his content as well. It just gives you that perspective and gives you that voice that maybe you don't want to hear from your husband. And you can hear from Coach Nadir, and he's breaking it down. He just is. And it's really, really great information. And meanwhile, you guys are welcome. Again, you're welcome. I'll be back. I'm going to try to come back probably Sunday. I'll see what happens. But make sure you guys are picking up our book as well. Did you guys pick up this book? And if you did, how are you liking it? How are you loving it? And if you need to pick it up, here you go. Okay. Let's talk polygamy.com for details. Ooh, look at it. It's so pretty. I'm so proud of that book. I've said it so many times. You all have had great feedback for those of you that have purchased our book. I just look at where we were and where we are now. And again, guys, listen, don't do this. Do not compare your day one, your year one, your 6-month anniversary in polygyny to us being in it for 15 years. Don't do that. It's not fair to you. It's not fair to your husband, your children, your co-wife, or wives. I just want to say that so we don't forget anybody. But make sure you don't, it's violent. We don't look at it that way. But if you're going, oh, look at their family, look at, we didn't, this was not out of just day one in this. Now, it took a lot of work, and we did so much work and research that you don't have to. So make sure you guys check us out in all the ways that you can. Our book, our polygamy community here on YouTube, on IG at Outstanding Relationships as well. And if you are on IG, if you go over to IG, you can comment or DM the word heal. You cannot do that here on YouTube, okay? And I have something special over there. And if you are a man who is very serious and on IG, not on YouTube, DM Shift to connect with Coach Nadir for some amazing information, and my incredible co-wife, Coach Nyla. Remember, on IG, DM GTG if you're ready to experience gratification through growth. I'm so serious. Our coaching has been really, really life-changing for so many. I'm not here to toot our horn, but I just want to let you guys know sincerely, if you're looking for solutions and you're ambitious and you're resourceful and you're really serious about change and you're not just intrigued by chance, make sure you do what I just told you to do. Okay, guys? So yes, positive polygyny in the comments. I will see you all in the next one. Have a great day. I'm going to do my best to have a restful evening on my side of the world. And remember, femininity does not have to be loud, obnoxious, and rude, y'all. Just remember that. I want you to remember this. Commit to it, whatever it looks like for you, and be consistent with it, okay? Empower yourself. Change those questions. Don't have these toxic questions, because you're going to give yourself a toxic answer, okay? So I'm going to see you guys in the next one. I'll let you guys know when I'm going to go live again. I will let my family know what you all said and the well wishes and everything. I know they appreciate it, and they really thank you all as well. Okay, so remember what I said. Comment, like, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. But before I do, I'm going to leave you with some GLC. Make sure you're growing intentionally, loving fearlessly, and connecting on a higher level every single day. I'm Coach Fatimah. I'll see you guys next time. Assalamu alaikum.